Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday! This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio virtual studios here in beautiful New Jersey and somewhere in the boonies of beautiful New Jersey. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Shorts Guy filling in for the baseball covering Vinny Parisi as the Devils take on the Ottawa Senators for Game 83. Games left. Streaming live on Facebook nuts. Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Coming over the wire about 6 hours ago, Riley Walsh will be in the lineup today. Riley Walsh, Scotty's boy. He's been talking about him all the time, like Nikita Hutkuk. And I will tell you, Riley Walsh, for starters, A, he is a playmaker. Love that. B, he's a smart kid. Went to a very, very prestigious Ivy League school. I believe it's Harvard, right? The Harvard Crimson?
Something like that. You're just hoping so because Mo Beard was the Crimson as well, so.
Well, no, this is why I'm hoping he's going to do well. We can actually pronounce his first and last name.
Oh, man, Sammy.
You know, the Hutyuk and the Mohamedulins and yada, yada, yada. Then there's Riley Walsh.
We've got Mohamedulin finally. I think we've gotten Mohamedulin finally.
Yeah.
So
until somebody else says we did it wrong, right?
Well, yeah, and which I'm sure will happen. Hey, at least we're not as bad as Billy Dean with names. Could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, you know, have you ever noticed, and this is off topic, have you ever noticed that the fat guys in all sports have like the 3-letter, 4-letter last names?
Mostly football, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There was back in the day, on the Phillies. I don't know why I'm thinking about it. There was John Kruk, Kruk, big guy, and then there was Mickey Morandini. And it's kind of like Scott Niedermeyer, where the last name is like from one elbow to the other on the jersey.
Crosses all the way to the back.
Yeah, you know. But Riley Walsh, he's I think he's going to do well with the Devils one day.
I hope so. I mean, I hope all these players do well with the Devils. I mean, because that'll mean that the Devils are doing well, in all hope. You know, and with only a couple games left, and only 3 games left this week, and then the offseason, will be upon us once again, way too early for most of our likings. We will have to have that hope for the future. I'm trying to track Twitter, see if maybe the lineup will come out while we're on.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Whoa! Hold on, Sammy. Oh my gosh, you need to see this. I'm going to send this to you now. Well, I just there's an account I follow on Instagram, and they just featured I'll try to hold this up to the camera. They just featured the old Marty Brodeur glove, correct? Okay. Really can't see that well on the camera. However, and then they post this guy.
Oh, I remember that guy. No relation to me at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. Let's see if I can somehow send that to you. Either way.
Send that to me.
Oh, there it is. I will.
What was that for? Is there a special occasion?
No, it's the account, which we don't get sponsored by, it's called Vintage Heaton, and they like to feature old Heaton gear and things like that. So that is why, because that guy was in Heaton gear, and I just sent you the account. So anyway, The reason why I was looking on Instagram is I was kind of hoping that we can get the lineup, because this is a little bit later than we're normally on, if I'm not mistaken. Sam, is that correct?
That is correct. We've been toying. So. Because we're thinking about next year with this podcast and Game Day Live, and You
Mhm.
know, should we go 6 o'clock? Should we go 6:30? Should we change it up? You know, because this podcast is based out of a bar, essentially Taj Lounge 973,
Yeah.
and fans like to get to their seats by 6:45, and I don't blame them. You're
Oh,
paying
I
a
don't
lot
blame him
for
either.
tickets. You got a family of 4. Everyone's like, mommy, daddy, I want to see Nico Heischer. I want to see Jack Hughes. I
Mhm.
want to get a puck. I want to get in early for warm-ups. That's what happens. And we're trying to find that sweet spot. And then the other X factor when you do this podcast is, hey, we've got lives and jobs, folks.
Really?
Yeah.
Never knew that.
I
I
mean,
never knew that.
honestly, the day that I win the lottery is the day I don't even care. I'll do game day live at like 4 p.m. because I can, because I have too much time on my hands. It'll be extended 3-hour version of game day live. And Vinny Parisi, I'd be like, Vinny, outsource your baseball coverage to somebody else. You're going to do a 3-hour podcast midsummer
And then
with no game.
that'll be the day that primetime radio finally starts cutting paychecks to its employees.
Oh no, that will never happen. That'll never happen. It's gonna be like, well,
man.
we did win the lottery, but we're not buying the New Jersey Devils, so we can take it away from the the Harris Blitzer sports entertainment regime.
Which
Which
would be nice.
let me tell you something. This is game day live. We're talking hockey.
Mhm.
But George Guy, let me tell you something. Last night, I know it's another sport. The Mets were down 2-0. Trevor May comes in, and after what Max Scherzer pitched 7 scoreless innings, and you're seeing Stephen Cohen, Uncle Steven's money, so sexy with that $42 million whatever a year player. Your best ace, Jacob deGrom, out. Okay, no problem. $42 million a year. And then the Mets down 2-0. The 9th inning, down to the last strike. But all the players that stepped up to the plate, the offseason that they had because he had so much money in spending. And the Mets came back and won 5-2. They scored 5 unanswered runs in the 9th inning. And why am I talking about the Mets? Because I was so close at quitting watching sports had the Devils ownership bought the Mets, my other favorite team.
Well,
I wouldn't know what to do. I really would
you,
not know what to do. It's kind of like Knicks and Ranger fans. They don't know what to do with Dolan. I quit sports at that point.
But you want to know what else it comes down to, and I know that the constant conversation between this podcast today and what we were talking about on Sunday with the Let's Go Devils podcast, Steve Cohen,
which, by the way, was
the
hilarious. By the way,
oh, that was a good time. That was a very good time. I did enjoy.
Sorry
it,
to interrupt, but
Steve Cohen loves the Mets, and he loves owning the Mets. Whereas our current ownership just sees us as numbers on a ledger sheet.
We're just numbers to them.
That's what
just
it feels
numbers.
Like, so,
I harp on David Blitzer. I give him credit when he was reading off of cue cards with Eric and Bryce that one time, but he got in front of the fans, right? He got in front of the fans and saying, "Be patient," and then my little homemade T-shirt, only one made. Be patient. T-shirt came about and all that. We were having a lot of fun with it, and then the Conan O'Brien spoof we did with David Blitzer. But I honestly think, look, they are who they are. It's a given, right? They don't have the passion like Stephen Cohen. They didn't grow up like the Mara family, growing up with the New York Giants, or remember back in the day, you're looking at the New York Jets, with Leon Hess, owner of the Hess Company, the late Leon Hess, so passionate about the Jets, did everything he could, wanted to see them win a Super Bowl before he passed. And then the Johnson family, also known as Johnson Johnson, Robert Wood Johnson, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, look at the Jets; they're a mess, right?
Well,
They're forever a mess.
I hate to interrupt you, but it was just announced that Mac Black is starting. Actually, this was 14 minutes ago. The Devils posted this, so I'm getting this delayed. I'm looking everywhere but the Devils account for a lineup, but Mac Black is officially starting today. Who would have thought that the
Wow.
Devils had actually posted something worthwhile um, before the game? So Mac Black is starting, which is great. Um, so it'll be interesting to see him back. I gotta imagine that we'll see him a couple times this week because I guarantee whether he's a competitor, and my guess is he just wants to be back in the lineup and to be playing again,
Well,
and one would think at
he,
least.
he's playing two bottom feeder teams, if I remember correctly. He's playing Ottawa, and he's going to be playing the Red Wings on Friday. Why not put him against the Carolina Hurricanes and really test that heel?
Because you don't want to
This
do
is
that.
evaluation period. It's
Yeah,
evaluation
but
period. I mean, these
I I I wouldn't agree with doing that due to the fact that um,
just coming off an injury.
just coming off injury, you kind of want to ease yourself in. And yeah, granted, I know there's only a couple games left, but I mean, we were talking about it last night. Looking at how Ottawa has done in the last couple games. Now, granted, their competition level has not been great, but for the month of April, Ottawa has beaten, in this order going in reverse, Montreal and Columbus back to back. They beat Vancouver. They lost to Seattle. They lost to Toronto in overtime. They beat Boston. They beat Detroit, and they lost to Winnipeg. And then they have a couple other losses to the Rangers in Nashville. They beat Montreal, Detroit. So they're they're playing well. I mean, some of these teams that they're playing are some of the bottom feeders, much like we are. I mean, we really don't have much to say because the Senators are above us in the standings. However, um, they seem to be doing pretty well right now, or at least holding their own. And it's a good game to come back because either he was potentially not ready to come back against Carolina, or maybe it was just not that was just not the game because you don't want to. The last thing you want to do coming back from an injury is to play against a team that your team is going to be uh, your team can't keep up with, and you're going to be left out to dry, for the potential of another injury or for a re-injury. So to me, this is a smart move bringing him back against a team that maybe they're on a more even keel with, and he can kind of ease into it. Because we've seen with Hammond coming back from injury, it's difficult to come back from injury.
Yeah.
He was healthy, and he just didn't play very well because when you haven't played very well, if when you haven't played in a long while, it's difficult to just get thrown right back in. You can practice all you want, but there's nothing that replaces game situations. So it's one of those things where I this may have been the first game that he was given the okay to play medically as well. So, but whatever, he's back.
Yeah.
Let's see how he does, and we'll go from there.
Also, the evaluation should not be about wins, losses. It's about how he's moving. All the little things that goaltenders. You look at goaltenders
Hmm.
because I mean, like I said, these are two bottom feeding teams. Now, if he gets shelled,
Hmm.
8 goals tonight and
Yeah.
7 goals, against the Red Wings. Uh, there's going to be a very, interesting offseason. What Tom Fitzgerald's going to do, at the position. The last two times, Bernier and on ESPN looked at Bernier. Bernier actually leads the team in save percentage this season at 902.
And he hasn't been between the pipes in a very long time. So
Yeah.
it's wild. It's this is one of those things to where, but I would disagree about that. This is his tryout. Let's say he does let in 7 goals, which I don't know. I think that this if this management team was doing anything right, they should have been looking for someone actively for the last couple of weeks. Trying to see who would be available coming up once trades are able to be made, and maybe they're waiting to see what the outcome of the draft lottery is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that this team has a lot to think about, and they should have already been thinking about that, because let's say Mac Black pitches, plays 2 out of the last 3 games, pitches 2 shutouts. Okay, but does that mean that we can trust him? I'd say no. Does it mean that he has if you bring someone in that's equal to him and say, here you go, compete for the spot, then I think that that's not a bad idea. But I can't. I don't think you can say that if he does well in the next 2 games, it's his position. If he doesn't do well, he's gone out the door.
Well, this is evaluation. I mean, he could be traded. Who knows?
Absolutely. Absolutely, he could be traded.
I think this is more of, has he fully healed from that injury, or does he need more time? I don't know. It's it's tough to go down the way he did, but there was a period of time where the Devils were 8-5-3 on November 20th, and they were looking good, beating the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and then they unveiled those alternate jerseys, and then then it was just downhill from there.
The wheels just fall right off.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at the defense, Shorts Guy. And I wrote this on my blog on HockeyBuzz.com earlier today. I had to write something because I haven't written anything in a really long time. And now Nick is probably like, where's my article? Coming, Nick. That Nick of PucksandPitchforks.com, which, by the way, is a wonderful website of Devils content. So you've got Nikita Huychuk, sorry, that is proving that he can play a physical game at the NHL level. Small sample size. Kevin Ball is the different Kevin Ball from the first call-up. He looks like he can impose his physical presence, can use his God-gifted talent of reach because he's so big. And then you've got Riley Walsh in the mix. And we haven't even talked about Luke Hughes or Muhammad Doolin in the system, in the organization, that haven't even gotten to the system yet. And that depth on defense, I'm telling you, along with having Dougie Hamilton at the moment and Ryan Graves and Damon Severson, it's something to talk about. And Siegenthaler.
Oh, without a doubt.
Depth, something the Devils haven't had in the farm system in a very, very long time.
Wow. Yeah, no, without a doubt, you are correct. It's something to talk about. It's a positive, and we've talked about this on Let's Go Devils before. There's a lot of players doing very well personally this season. It's just the team didn't come together as a whole, and then the unmistakable thing is goaltending has been a disaster all season. So there's a lot of pluses, and the depth at defense I think is huge, because I think it's been a problem for us for a long while, is our depth at defense and our lack of. But the one thing that everyone's got to remember too is defensemen take quite a bit longer usually to develop. So we'll see what that turns into.
I got the starting lineup from Catherine Bogart, at Catherine Bogart. But you know what? I have to do it in a certain way since I didn't get the PA announcing position. I got to do it my way.
It's a good thing you didn't get that, Sam.
I know. It's a very good thing. Probably lost a lot of money out of the deal anyway. Your starting lineups for your New Jersey Devils. Starting at left wing, number 11, Andre Johnson. Centering that line, Dawson Mercer and Jesper Bratt. Second line, Janne Kuokkanen, Jesper Boqvist,
Mhm.
Yegor Sharangovich for your second line. Third line, Nolan, the Bigfoot at the left wing, Zaka at center, and Fabian Zetterlund. To round out the third line, the fourth line, Geertsen, McLeod and Bastian,
Mhm.
Smith and Severson top pairing, Graves, Hamilton, Ball and Walsh. A lot of Utica. Blackwood starts, the Hamburglar backing up. And those are your New Jersey Devils.
Interesting. Is there a reason why? And I may have missed it. Is there a reason why Subban's not in the lineup? Is he ill?
Yeah, Subban and let's see, Subban and Hischier are not in the lineup. I'm thinking the flu bug that's going around.
Oh yeah, that's been going around the team. Okay,
Yeah,
I kind
the
of had
flu
that
bug.
thought, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
that's Andre Johnson on the first line. I expect, for Devils After Dark, for more Andre Johnson football calls. I'm hoping.
That would be great.
Hoping.
It would be great. I wouldn't be against it.
3 games left. All right, so we got
Yeah.
a couple minutes left. Shorts guy, last game. Scotty and I, our predictions were awful. He predicted 5-4
Yeah, they
Devils. I
were.
predicted 8-3 Devils. So I'm going to be like, Ottawa 2, Devils -5. I don't know. I don't know.
Man, this is tough. This one's
I'm
tough.
going to tell you that because it's the Ottawa Senators and the amount of Utica players, the Utica Comets players on this team tonight, Utica has been shining all season long. These guys, everyone has impressed me so far, these rookies. So I'm going to say 5-2 Devils. Mac Black is going to be outstanding.
All right, I'm gonna go. Man, I know which direction I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say 6-4 Devils.
6-4 Devils. Wow. Mr. Positive, huh? We got a
Hey.
recording of this.
I know. I mean, Ottawa's scored a bunch, and they've let up a bunch in recent times. Devils, we know, can score a bunch, and we're very good at letting up a bunch. So, you've got two teams that got nothing to lose right now. You've got Mac Black coming back that I'm sure wants to show stuff, but I know will be rusty. So really, it's a crapshoot, and I think going with the over on this one to me seems like the better move.
All
But what do I
right,
know?
then. Well, what do we know? But you know what? People are watching, and they love us. Just
all
want to
matters.
shout out to Ramona, to Mike Rossi, always in the Facebook Live, also YouTube Live as well. Devils After Dark after the game. Check us out. We'll recap the game that was. Scotty of SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, and I will do that. Also, Taj Lounge 973 for the home finale. I'll be down there at Taj Lounge, 35 Edison Place. Special guest coming in, Chico Resch, for one last time of the season. We'll ask Chico a lot of questions, a lot of personal questions, how he really feels about this team. It's going to be a no spin zone.
Perfect.
As Chico speaks his mind. Excellent.
Perfect.
Yes. All right. Want to thank all those tuning in. Thank you, Shorts Guy, for filling in. Until next
welcome.
time, let's go Devils.